What's going on, guys? Charles Weinraub here, AKA the Handsome Homebuyer, and on this week's educational blog, we're going to talk about understanding the 1031 exchange, which is an awesome part of the IRS code, which everybody should know and love, which is one of the big reasons why people invest in real estate. Speaking of investing, you got to invest in yourself. Join the text platform. There you go, Scott. Put it right there. Do that thing that you do where it comes right there. Got a ton of one-on-one engagement in there. A lot of people doing deals based off the advice and things that I'm giving them. So it's very cool. It's absolutely free. And it's just a way that I can connect and give back to all you guys out there. Speaking of giving back, if you like this video, what you're about to see, like, subscribe, always drop a comment. We appreciate that, okay? So understanding the 1031 exchange, I'm gonna go through this. We have a little clip break and identify the different types of 1031 exchanges. But very high level, basic, and this gets pretty hairy. The most important thing is that you have a robust team of people, qualified intermediary, which I'll go over in a minute, accountants, attorneys, etc., that can execute this for you, because it is a little tricky. You don't want to do it the wrong way and then get disqualified, and it can cost you a lot of money. So it's a like kind exchange, 1031. It's actually a portion of the tax code that says that you can essentially sell a piece of real estate and then use all the proceeds from that sale to then in turn buy another property or multiple properties and not pay taxes. Very important that you do this, because if you don't, you're gonna be repaying the depreciation. It's called a recapture. You depreciate the property year over year. You're gonna have to pay back that depreciation, and you're gonna get taxed, usually a long-term capital gain or short-term capital gains based on how much money you made. So this is vital. It was brought into existence in 1921 in the IRS to encourage active investment. Congress voted in, they wanted active investment, they wanted people trading properties. So as a result, the 1031 was born, and now you have people actively trading properties for that reason, okay? When you do a 1031 exchange, it has to be similar in nature and character. Now, obviously, the code delves in deep. This is gonna be very high level, but just to keep it simple, you have an apartment building, you're gonna buy a bigger apartment building. You have an apartment building, you're gonna buy 2 other apartment buildings. You have a long-term hold house, you're gonna buy 1 or 2 other long-term hold houses. This isn't something that I recommend for flipping. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. When you're a flipper, you're gonna pay taxes. It sucks, I know, but you're going to. You become a dealer of real estate, and it's transactional. The goal is to take those proceeds and put it back into long-term rental holds, and then utilize the 1031 exchange to not pay taxes ever again. So some of the rules, and there's pretty strict rules, and you might look at this and be like, that's plenty of time. But when you're talking about dealing with banks and sellers and attorneys and nonsense, this time period is gone very quickly. So the first thing you have to do is you have to identify a property. You have 45 days to identify the property. It's typically 3 properties, or you can identify unlimited properties, just as long as they add up to a minimum of 95% of whatever the exchange is gonna be, or a maximum of 200% of what the exchange is going to be. You then have 180 days to actually complete the purchase. Now, there's ways around this, which I'll talk about in a second, but as a general rule, there's 180 days to purchase, okay? The funds, let's say it's a traditional 1031 in the sense that you sell a property, you then identify the property, and you're gonna close within 180 days. Those funds, those proceeds from the sale of the original property that you're trying to defer taxes on, has to be held by a qualified intermediary. You can't just give it to one of your buddies. You can't hold it in your bank account and use it. It has to be held by a qualified intermediary. Another thing that's important that people ask me a lot is, do you have to reinvest all of it? Let's say you have $1 million coming out from one sale. Do you have to put the whole $1 million into buying something else? No, you absolutely don't. You could put any dollar amount you want. However, whatever you don't reinvest via the 1031 into another property, you're gonna have to pay taxes and recapture on that percentage of the sale that you didn't roll in. All right, so there's a handful of different types of 1031 exchanges. There's actually more than this, but just to cover 5 simple ones, okay? So you have the delayed exchange, which is pretty much what you think of when you think of a standard 1031 exchange, which is you sell the property, identify another property, close on it within 180 days, you're good to go. The simultaneous exchange is exactly what it sounds like, a simultaneous exchange. You literally sell and buy at exactly the same time and utilize the 1031 exchange. The delayed reverse exchange is when you're purchasing the new property before you actually sell the the old one and then use the proceeds towards the 1031 exchange. You have the simultaneous build to suit exchange, which is, let's say you're coming in, there's a piece of property and you're gonna knock something down, build something for yourself, or there's land and you're gonna build something for yourself. You have the simultaneous build to suit, which is, again, you're gonna close at the same time. However, you can't use all the funds to do the build out because it takes time to obviously do the build. And last but not least, we have delayed build to suit, where you purchase the property, again, prior to selling the property where the funds are gonna be utilized in the 1031 exchange. So again, it can get very complicated. We're just scratching the surface here and delved in a little bit, but what you need to take away from this video is the 1031 exchange is awesome. Anybody who invests in real estate should be using it, obviously, to defer taxes forever. The idea is essentially to defer taxes forever, and then when you pass away, the basis goes all the way up, your kids inherit the property, and if they want, they can sell the property and have zero tax liability. So again, if you like this video, we'd love to hear the comments. Subscribe to the text platform. Scott, here we go, I'm doing it. And we'll see you on next week's educational vlog.